Are you right-handed? Are you left-handed? Does it matter? How are you supposed to play these finger cymbals? Is it right, then left, then right, then left? Or right, then left, then right again? If you've ever wondered which hand you're supposed to use when playing the finger cymbals, then this video is for you. Join me here and I'm going to dive in and share with you the best way to use your hands when you play the finger cymbals. My name is Sahira, and I'm here to teach you the beautiful art of belly dance. When it comes to playing the finger cymbals, there are basically two different ways that you can play. One is dominant hand lead, and the other is continuously alternating. Dominant hand lead means that you start every pattern grouping with your dominant hand, and then play until you're done with that grouping, and then restart the next grouping on your dominant hand. For example, if I'm playing the gallop, our tried and true and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, and I am right-handed, my dominant lead playing method is going to look like this. Right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right. I start each grouping of 3 on my right. I play all 3 alternating, right, then left, then right, and then I start the next grouping of 3 on my right hand. The other possibility is to play continuously alternating. And what this means is that after one hand goes, the other hand goes, right? If we only have 2 hands, we're always going to switch between right and left. So if we go back to that gallop idea, as I suggested before, we're going to do right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right. So each gallop is going to start on a different hand. Now, of course, if you're left-handed and you wanted to do a dominant hand lead, you would just start every gallop on your left hand, left, right, left, left, right, left. And if you were continuously alternating, maybe you would start with your left hand, but you would just continuously alternate throughout. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. So question 1, which way do you currently play? Do you know? And then question 2, is there a right or a wrong way to do it? So before I tell you the best way to play, let's talk about the pros and cons of each. When you play dominant hand lead, which is what I tend to do most often because it's the way that I was taught and now it's just pretty ingrained into my muscle memory, you are going to find that your dominant hand, which is often your strongest hand, will often get the strongest part of the beat. So if I'm thinking about playing, say, the melody, doom doom tekka tek, doom tekka tek, tekka doom doom tekka tek, doom tekka tek, my right hand is always going to get those dooms, which is pretty useful, especially if you play multi-tonal, because then that right hand can always be the big, beautiful ring tone, that basic tone, right? So if I'm thinking my dominant hand lead on the melody, I'm thinking tekka doom doom tekka tek doom tekka tek. This is my dominant. Tekka doom doom tekka tek doom tekka tek. Or if I'm going to play it with a multi-tonal method, either way, all my dooms end up on that right hand, which leads them to be a little bit more emphatic because that is my dominant hand. Now let me give you a pro of playing continuously alternating. Now the theory here is if you never double up a hand, if your dominant hand doesn't have to ever do 2 strokes in a row, you can in theory play a lot faster because you will never have to rely on one hand going so quickly to play 2 strokes in a row. So if you're playing the gallop, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, and there's no double on your right or double on your left if you're left-handed, it has much more potential to go really fast. Now, I will admit I haven't had any Zill races with anyone, and I can Zill pretty darn fast. But I do know for a fact that there are some amazing Zillers out there that play continuously alternating that might beat me if I challenge them to a duel. I might have to think about trying that. So now let's talk about cons of each method. I would say the biggest con for playing dominant hand lead is exactly the opposite of the pro for continuously alternating. The fact that it could slow you down, right? Especially if your hands aren't super fast quite yet. It can always be trained faster. But if you're using one hand to double up, Your timing, like that's going to be really difficult as things really speed up if your dominant hand has to play a lot more strokes. I often find too certain patterns as I start to play dominant hand lead, my right hand will play 80% of the pattern and my left hand is stuck with like the other 20%, which I sometimes think makes it feel a little bit lonely and left out. But that's the way my right hand just likes to take over and play. So if I could play more continuously alternating, utilize that left hand more, it will allow you to go faster in the long run. Now, conversely, the downside of playing continuously alternating is that certain patterns, especially more complex ones, you are going to have to be ambidextrous, right? It could potentially mean that you're going to have to be able to play that really awesome pattern both with your right hand leading it and with your left hand leading it. And when you play multitonally, then you will have to be able to do all of the very dexterous, basses and cracks and ticks and tocks and all of those different sounds on your non-dominant hand, which is an excellent skill to have. It just takes a little bit more time and a little bit more practice. So if you're just starting out with your finger cymbals, now is the perfect time to experiment and figure out if dominant hand lead or continuously alternating feels better to you. And if you're just starting out, you will definitely want to grab my finger cymbal jumpstart, which is going to give you the solid foundation that you need for fabulous finger cymbal playing. You can get that at sahirabellydances.com/ZillStar. So now that we've discussed the possibilities and what is the difference between continuously alternating and dominant hand lead, are you ready to find out the best way to play? So in my humble opinion, after 2 decades of playing zills pretty much every day and loving the heck out of them, I'm going to say that the best way to play your finger cymbals is the way that's going to make you want to play them. Yes, there really is no best way. Now, here's the deal, y'all. There was a time and a place, and there might be some studios that still exist today, where they insist on the hand patterning being a specific way. Typically, it was right hand lead, which wreaked havoc on the left-handed zillers, right? I am not about that. There's not one best way to play. There are phenomenal zillers that play right hand lead, left hand lead, and continuously alternating. So it's all possible. I would say the best way to be able to play is to be able to play all of the ways. And this is the way that I like to challenge myself and my students once they get to an advanced level. I'll say, fantastic, you can play that melody multitonally with 3 different sounds. Can you start it on your non-dominant hand? Right? And what this allows you to do is when you are in a performance situation and maybe you're switching from dancing with your left side to dancing with your right side, and sometimes your hands want to switch which hand leads depending on which way you're traveling, you can do it, right? What being ambidextrous, what being, very fluent with all the different ways of playing with your finger cymbals will allow you to do is make step up in the moment and be able to create fluidly and seamlessly without worrying if the wrong hand takes over, if the whole thing is going to fall apart, right? But to get started, whatever you choose is great, whatever works best for you. So make sure that you find a teacher that encourages you to explore and find the way that works for you. And then I want you to really experiment and become aware of which way you're playing. When you first start, I want you to be very cognizant. What hand am I using? Can I repeat that? Can I do it over and over again cleanly and clearly? When you eventually get to a stage where you're able to improvise and you're feeling very fluent with the zills, you will find that your hands will just take over and make the patterning happen. And you might not even know exactly which hand played it, but it takes a little while to get there. So you have to have patience and you have to have that goal, right? So for now, I say any hand pattern that's going to get you to put on your zills and play is the hand pattern that you want to use. So I want to know, how do you play? I have a theory that dominant hand lead is more prevalent than continuously alternating, but I haven't done any scientific research to prove this. So I need your help. Post below and let me know if you are dominant hand lead or continuously alternating. I'm taking a poll and I need to know. And if you are just getting started out in your journey, be sure to sign up for that ZillStar course to give you a solid foundation to be the total rock star ziller that you are meant to be. SahiraBellyDances.com/ZillStar. And I can't wait to make music with you there.